Hello, all. Back again with Survivor Australia this time. Survivor Australia, Season 10, Episode 1. It is a heroes versus villains season. I remember the previous heroes versus villains season. The winner was David, the Golden God, one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He's freaking amazing. He was a demon. Dude was finding idols left and right. I think at one time he was stacked with like 3 idols. It was amazing. So I'm excited for this new season. I think out of all the survivors, Australia goes the hardest. Like they really stack up the advantages. The players are freaking really dynamic and they really know how to play the game. It's amazing. I love it. So I'm excited for this new season. So let's get right into it. We have returning players. And on the heroes team, I think there's Sean. I think he was like the tallest to ever play the game. It was like he's like 6'7" or something like that. He was like a rugby player. I remember him, and I remember him sucking at the game because although he plays this physical aspect pretty good when it comes to strategy, he doesn't play it. Like he doesn't realize how big of a threat he is just being that big. And he doesn't move for advantages. He doesn't strategize. It's like he tries to play the good guy. And obviously he's on the heroes tribe. And it's just like, it's so stupid. It's so honestly dumb the way he plays the game. You are a big threat. People are going to come after you. You can't trust anyone. Even if your closest allies want to get rid of you. It is a dumb way to play the game. And he's just a disappointment. And along with him was the lady that took out George. From was it like season 9, I think? And I don't know why she's a hero. I remember watching her play, and she was very villainous. I don't consider her a hero at all, but she's on the heroes tribe. And another guy on the heroes tribe was what is his name? Was it? No, it's not Sean. I can't remember his name, but he. I don't know. He wasn't that good. He was also a physical threat. He tried to strategize a little bit, but he wasn't that good at the game, to be honest. And he wasn't even memorable enough to be even considered for a hero role, but I guess he's the only one that answered when they're calling for returning players. And then we move to the villain tribe here. All right. See that villain, see the villains. We got this dude over here. I can't remember his name, but he was on the season with George, which was the Brain versus Braun. And he had 2 idols at one point, and he told his allies about it, and they freaking voted him off. He didn't say he had 1 idol. He said he had 2, and they blindsided him the very next vote. With 2 idols, he went home with 2 idols in his pocket. And one of the main reasons he went home was because of George. It was so dumb. And the lady that betrayed him and plotted his downfall, she didn't get very far either. George took her out too. So he's major dumb. His ego got the best of him. He's telling people all his secrets. He's a big threat, and he was playing strategically. And I'm like, oh, this dude's going to go really far. And then he starts making dumbass mistakes because he expects people to protect him when he just has all these advantages and all this power. He was like one of the strongest guys on his tribe, and he had all these advantages. Like there's no way it was so stupid. And then we got Shawnee over here. She's a big social player, and I can understand why she's a villain. She lied to a lot of people. And then you got George, nicknamed King George. Dude is Sneevely, like I think he works in politics too. He's just like Weasley type of dude. And just not a very strong guy, very strategic, talks a lot, majorly annoying, but he's really good at this game because he's constantly on guard. He's constantly looking around, and he's always working the angles. And that's what it takes to be in politics. And freaking he excelled in this game. So good on him. I think he made it towards the end until he got voted out in like final 3. Then we have over here, Jordy, he's in the back there with the ridiculous hat. He always dressed like a farmer. Jordy, he played the last season he played, he was with his brother, his younger brother. He was playing with his younger brother, and his his brother found an idol and gave it to someone else to hide it. And she kept his idol and then voted him out. So his brother got voted out. Then, as his brother was leaving, told him about that lady having this idol, and he was hell bent on getting her out. And I think they nicknamed him the Joker because he was there. He was there for a long time, even though everyone wanted to get him out. I think he also got voted out, and then he won. Then he won in a comeback challenge where it was like the 4 people that got voted out, they got to compete together to get back in the game, and he got back in the game, got voted out again. He's great at the game, but his play style is very loud. It's just not going to get him very far. So those are the villains. I think this chick is like a news anchor or something. She was on CNN, I believe. And these people are all new. This lady over here, I think her name is Jackie. She's a poker player, but she's new at the game. That guy over here, he's also a news reporter. The one back here with the goddamn thing around his neck. I can't really see his face. He's also a news anchor, and he's playing the game very aggressively. This guy's a returning player. I think he got voted out by Shawnee over here. Stevie, that's his name, Stevie. He's like 65, 66, something like that. He's up there in age. I think the first time he played the game, he was 63. So he's probably at least 64 at this point. All right, so that's it for the villains. See if we can get a look at the heroes there. All right, so here we have the heroes. This is a guy. This is a returning player. This guy over here, I can't remember his name, but maybe his name is also Sean. I can't remember, but he was mediocre at this game, and that's Sean over here, the tall dude right here. These people are new. This is, can't remember her name, but her mother is a big Survivor player. What is her name? It's not Nina. I think her name is Nina, but her mother is from the original Survivor, the American Survivor. Her mother is a big champion. She played a season with Rob, Boston Rob. She's a big villain player too. I can't remember her name. I think she won twice or 3 times, something like that. Can't remember her mother's name at all. It all escaped me at this moment. But yeah, she got on Australian Survivor for through nepotism, I believe. Who else is a returning player in this tribe? Because those two. She's also a returning player. She played a previous season with her mother, and she got injured and kicked out of the game. No. I don't. I think that's it. That's it. The heroes tribe are not very special. This lady is a nutcase. She does some kind of investigative journalism where she goes to Africa and she like talks to poachers and lion hunters and tell them how bad of a person they are. This chick's ego is off the chain. Like, she thinks she's the greatest person in the world. She's saving lives, and she's annoying. She talks 100 miles a minute. I think at one point she was talking to Nina over here, and she told her that I'm more of an African American than you, and it was just like, because she's like, because she lived in the U.S. and she's also from Australia. She moved to U.S. She lived in Australia, and she's also from Africa, I believe South Africa. So she thinks it's appropriate to say I'm more of an African American than you, even though the connotation of African American is based on the skin color. Not, it's stupid. It was a stupid and ridiculous thing to say, but she did it. I think at one point she was holding a a freaking blade, and she told Sean over here, how would you like to get circumcised? It was just like just weird stuff. Just meeting people for the first time, and she was just bold and talking all kinds of ridiculous stuff. I don't know why she was on the Heroes Tribe. I guess it's because they believe her work of investigating people with guns that are shooting lions and poaching somehow makes her a hero. But she has a extreme. I don't believe she's saving anything. I think she's just really annoying, and she's bugging people. And the only reason she's still alive is none of them chose to end her, and probably because of the camera crew that's following her around. Because if it was just her, she would be in trouble. All right, so that's the heroes and villains for. So their first challenge was getting supplies. So they had to. All right, so you can see all the supplies they can get right here. It's all the food and stuff, fishing gear, all that kind of stuff. So what they had to do was they had to grab a bunch of the supplies and, it's a better image. All right, so as a tribe, the heroes go over here with the yellow and the villains with the purple over here. So they had to grab the supplies and get it all the way to the top here on each side for their tribe. And once they got their supplies up there, then the whole tribe has to get up here. Then one person has to run down, grab the flames over here, the torch, grab the torch and come up here, come back up here, and then light it. All right, and that's how they win. And the winning tribe gets to keep their supplies. The other tribe gets nothing. All right, so that is the challenge you got to do. Right away, people were wrestling. I think the biggest advantage that because the heroes won this one, and the biggest advantage that they had was, in fact, Sean, who was freaking tall as shit, and he was able to hike up all of his tribe members all the way to the top, and he could climb up there himself because the freaking platform is basically at like chin height for him, and he can easily reach it. All right, so he was able to get up there pretty easily. He got up to the top with the rest of his tribe. The villains tribe had a lot of old people and there are a lot of out of shape people, so they were struggling a lot. Even if they had some strong guys, they couldn't really do much because the heroes tribe, I think they had lifeguards and all kinds of very fit people, so they could easily boss this challenge, and they were able to do it pretty well. They won. They got their supplies. The losing villains tribe, they had nothing. They had to find a way to make fire, I guess. I don't think they were able to make fire. Right away, most of the people were targeting George because he's a returning player, he's a sneaky player, and I believe there are a couple people in his tribe that he previously got out of the game. Or was it just one? I think it was just one person that he got voted out. But the rest of them, they were kind of threatened by him because they saw his season. And yeah. And he made an alliance with Jackie, the news reporter or the journalist or whatever she calls herself. He made an alliance with Jackie, and no, Jackie is the gambler. She's not a gambler, poker player, right? Jackie's the poker player. He made an alliance with Jackie, the poker player. And then he roped in Annalise, the journalist. There we go. That's what George did right away. The other journalist, he wanted to get rid of George as well. He was going after, he was the first one to start looking around for idols. And he was pretty much talking to everyone very excitedly, very aggressively, and trying to get them on his side. He was weirding people out a little bit, but he was targeting George, so they were on board with him. freaking, I think that was it for the development right there. God damn it. So you got George, Jackie over here. They're talking game. You see George had a tattoo of a hidden immunity idol that he had during his season. He has it tattooed on his chest for some reason. All right. So they talked game while everybody else was building a shelter. Yeah, it stayed a lot on the villains tribe this season. When it got to the heroes tribe, it was mostly about that freaking lion journalist chick that thought she was better than everybody else. And yeah, she was very annoying. And I think it was because the lady that, God damn, I need to learn her name, but she's the one that got George voted out during their season, and she also won. She's the only winner and a returning player, so she was nervous about everyone is going to target her, which they will. So she wanted to find a different target to switch to, and that lion saving journalist chick, she was so annoying that she was the most obvious target to like sort of switch so that no one targets her. All right, so I think that was it for the heroes tribe. Got that guy looking around for idols. I'm going to learn their names as the season goes on, but like, unless they do something spectacular, I'm not going to remember who the hell they are. All right, so we come to the second, the immunity challenge now, not the reward challenge. This one is for immunity. Let me see if I can get a good image of it. All right. So, image right here. So what they have to do is they start out at this little boxes right here, and there's going to be a wheel. Two people are going to be turning the wheel, and two people are going to be running up to the wheel and jump on the box, and the box is going to spin over, and they're going to fall into the water. All right, they're going to fall into the muddy water, and then crawl underneath some beams to get to the next portion of the challenge. See right here, there's a better image of it. All right, so you can see the boxes. They have to crawl underneath it and get over here. As you can see, the heroes already have a head start. The villains are a little bit slower because they're less physically capable. All right. So in this part, George and Jackie, who just formed an alliance, they went at the same time, and they can see them here. See Jackie, big lady, and George over here. They grabbed onto the box. It's spinning over, and they held onto the box all the way until George nosedives head first into the goddamn mud pit, hitting his head. Jackie falls on her shoulder. They both get injured and pulled from the game. I was mind blown by that. Like, even your survival instinct should have told you to not just fall straight down onto your goddamn face. Like, why? It was just insane to me to witness that. But neither one of them are very, very physical people, so they're probably one of those babies that didn't learn how to fall correctly or something. I don't know. Maybe they were swaddled their whole formative years, and they never learned to fall. So they were injured. They were pulled for the game, and the heroes obviously won, because the next part of the challenge was they had to run through this freaking hallway of sticks. And of course, the heroes have the freaking big ass dude, Sean, and he was able to break up most of the sticks and help them get through. And after they get through the sticks, then they had to go through they have to go through some coconuts to get a hammer, get the hammer. The next part is they have to use the hammer to then hammer in the rungs of a ladder, climb up the ladder, then grab a bunch of tiny hammers, load them up on top of the platform. Let's see, right here. On top of the platform, right here. Then they had to toss the hammers at a couple of targets, like 5 targets there's hanging over. But even though I think at that point, the villains tribe were able to get a head start. I think they were better at hammering the rungs of the ladder, so they got a head start. But when it came to throwing the hammer, they were just not as good. So they lost. They lost their immunity challenge, and they got 2 people injured, and now they have to deliberate on who they're going to vote out. So now that George and Jackie are injured, they don't know if they're going to make it back for tribal. So they have to plan to vote out someone else. Because I believe in Australian Survivor, every player has 24 hours where they can be out of the game for medical situations. So if they're injured and they have to go see a doctor, they have 24 hours. Anything longer than 24 hours, they're kicked out of the game. All right. So, and if they're not there during tribal, they can't be voted out. So they have to plan to vote out someone else. Right away, they didn't really know where the votes are going to go. So they were just kind of deliberating who's going to be the next person to get voted out. Shawnee, who's nervous because she's played the game 3 times. This is her 3rd time playing the game. And she's nervous that the target is going to be on her. And she doesn't want George to be the target to go home because George is a bigger target than her. So she wanted to switch the votes away from George to someone else. And the person that she chose was Angela. Yeah, Angela, the CNN reporter lady. And so she switched the votes to her. She made an alliance with a bunch of other people. She's doing her typical social game stuff. And she was able to switch the votes. Everyone kind of switched the votes to Angela. And they told Angela that the votes are going to be on Stevie. Stevie, the old dude who was like 64, 65, something like that. And Stevie, who got voted out by Shawnee before, is plotting on her downfall, but he's making it seem like he doesn't have any hard feelings towards her. So he's not throwing on her name or anything, but he's plotting to get her out of the game. So they use Stevie as a smokescreen to tell Angela that that's who they're going to be voting for, but everyone is really voting for Angela. All right. So right away, that's it. There's a lot of background in this episode, so we can skip and go right to tribal. During tribal, they found out that George and Jackie are not going to be there. So George and Jackie, they're not going to be there. They're still in the hospital. But George and Jackie, who just formed an alliance with Angela, and Angela is now the target. So even if George comes back in the game, he's going to be down an ally anyways. So they're going through the motions, they're asking questions. No one is trying to reveal who they're really going to be voting for. Everyone thinks they know the votes are going to go on. And Angela, the most confident of everyone, she really believes she knows where the votes are going to go. So they go, everyone votes, and then it's announced that George is okay. He hit his head. He's okay, but he's not going to be coming back for this vote. But Jackie, she fractured her collarbone, so she's kicked out of the game. Jackie's out of the game. They're down one person. They're given a choice. Jonathan can either reveal the votes and someone else is going to get voted out and removed from the game along with Jackie, or he could not reveal the votes and they can go back to tribe. They can go back to their camp and have as many people as they want. So they had that choice. It has to be a unanimous vote. They're given a chance to deliberate. they talked about it, and eventually they all decided, oh, we're villains. We're the villains tribe. We might as well, reveal the votes, all this stuff. And the biggest person to push for it was Angela. Angela was like impatient to get those votes read because she thought that Stevie is going to be going home, and she excited to do some villainous stuff. So she's rushing Jonathan. She's like, chop, chop, read the votes. So Jonathan reads the vote. One vote, the first one, is for Stevie, and every other vote after that is for Angela. And Angela goes home. It was mind-blowing, the confidence that this lady had. She barely talked game with people. She very strategized with people. She formed an alliance with freaking George, and he gets injured along with the other person she formed an alliance with. It was insane. So now there's a possibility that they can be down 3 people. Because if George's injuries get any worse, he can possibly be out of the game as well. So they're possibly down 3 people. They're definitely down 2 people. And yeah, man, it was exciting. But I was not expecting it to go that way. But I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out, man. There's some good play. There's always good players in the Australian Survivor, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Till next time.